Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So the subject of this video is a little different from what I usually do, but I wanted to cover it anyway. So patch after patch, we all wait with bated breath in anticipation of the A-10 being released, but we all end up being disappointed. The last 3 patches we've seen more and more modern aircraft and new mechanics being added, but still no A-10. We got the MiG-27 last patch with smart bombs, aka GBUs, and guided air surface missiles. Regardless of how you feel about the usefulness of the smart bombs on the MiG-27, it's still a major advancement in weapons technology and mechanics with regard to War Thunder. And of course, the MiG-27 has a 30mm Gatling gun, just like the A-10. The MiG-27 represented a serious effort by the Soviet Union to field a dedicated frontline ground attack aircraft with advanced capabilities, so the precedent is set. Now the MiG-27 is no A-10, but the bottom line here is that the MiG-27 is pretty darn modern and a serious ground attack aircraft with a similar mission to the A-10, but obviously with different flight characteristics. Right now in the US tech tree, we have multiple aircraft like the A-7D Corsair, the F-5E, and the F-4E that can carry the AGM-65 Maverick. You know, it's a primary weapon for the A-10. You can also fit the 30mm gun pods to the A-7D and the F-5E. Again, a primary weapon of the A-10. The Mark 80 family of dumb bombs, they're in the game, which you can easily turn those into GBUs with a kit. Laser-guided weapon mechanics are here, expendable countermeasures are here, unguided Hydra rockets and even the Sidewinder all in the game, and they were all carried by the A-10. So I ask, where is it? Where's the A-10? So I thought a little deeper on why it could be being delayed. Why haven't they introduced it yet? Are they toying with us? I don't think that's very likely. Gaijin loves money, so it definitely isn't that. Is it delayed because of licensing issues? It could possibly be that. I heard the Tornado was delayed because of licensing. I don't know how true that is. I just read it and heard it. And then I thought, is it because all of the game mechanics are not in place yet? And then that last question started to make more sense to me. Now, certain aircraft in War Thunder get the player base really excited. We just saw that with the Viggen. So the A-10 is also one of those aircraft that has the player base excited. Excited but also nervous for its arrival. After all, we've seen many a hyped aircraft jet release go sideways, like the Lightning F6 if we remember that. Many players say that the A-10 doesn't have a place in the game and that it will be slaughtered in ARB. Fighter to fighter, they may have a point. The A-10 isn't exactly an air superiority fighter, and it doesn't need to be. And that doesn't mean Gaijin won't add it because of that. We have the Buccaneer S1 for Christ's sakes. And that's all ground pounding all day. No air-to-air missiles, just bombs and rockets, and some bullpups. You don't even get a gun. It's defenseless in ARB, but it's still there. So I came up with 3 likely reasons why we don't have the A-10 yet. Reason number 1 being the ANLQ-184 self-protection ECM pod. Now we have ECM pods in the game that were introduced in the last update, but they just have countermeasures in them. They don't have any jamming capability. So according to Raytheon Technologies, who manufactures this ECM pod, the ALQ-184 is a self-protect electronic countermeasures electronic warfare pod used on U.S. Air Force tactical aircraft. It operates in both receive and transmit modes to selectively direct high-power jamming against multiple emitters. So if you're primarily just a tanker in the game, you might not care about how easy it is for top-tier radar SAMs to shoot down planes. In fact, you probably count on that. But the A-10 carried this ECM pod into combat for protection against radar-guided SAMs and SPAA. The ALQ-184 ECM pod had its combat debut in Desert Storm and protected many U.S. aircraft to great effect, significantly contributing to the low aircraft losses, in fact. This missing jamming mechanic is one of the reasons I believe Gaijin has not introduced the A-10 yet, or for that matter, the Su-25 Frogfoot. The game mechanics and ecosystem are not complete. The A-10 would definitely need this ECM pod to increase its survivability over a top-tier match battlefield. With the way surface-to-air missiles and self-propelled anti-aircraft guns work in War Thunder, you'll always be able to visually acquire, fire on, and manually guide your ordnance to the target. However, being denied the radar lock due to jamming can reduce your probability of kill and will reduce your airspace situational awareness. So it is worth adding a mechanic. Obviously, the A-10 will be dealing mainly with the ground environment, although it is highly suited for it. This aircraft was built to be comfortable right at the front lines, providing close air support to ground forces, and it should be able to shine in ground RB versus air RB. The dangers the A-10 will face are very serious though. Surface-to-air missiles such as the 2S6 Tunguska, the ITO-90M SAM, the Flak Rod, just to name a few, are extremely formidable weapon systems, and A-10 will have a tough time dealing with those without its full set of survivability tools. The second reason, and still on a theme of missing things, would be that all the vehicles that can carry active protection systems are not yet fielded in the game, and I'm talking about hard kill active protection systems. The passive protection systems that are here in the game right now, in my opinion, they won't protect all of the light vehicles, the infantry fighting vehicles, and the main battle tanks from an onslaught of Maverick missiles. The A-10, when introduced, will likely be spammed for quite some time and become the cast platform of choice for many US tech tree mains due to its phenomenal survivability. It will just become a permanent fixture in games, similar to the way you can't have a match without G91 Nord spam depending on what BR you play. But to preserve some semblance of balance and give players time to become accustomed to the technology, the new hard kill APS systems will need to be introduced at least one patch prior to the A-10 being released. Hard kill active protection systems such as Trophy, Arena, and Afghanet for some Western and Russian MBTs should increase ground vehicle survivability and anticipation of the A-10s. For example, Germany has already ordered the Trophy system for the Bundeswehr's Leopard 2A6 and A7 series of tanks. The Arena system has been offered for export and demonstrated on some Russian vehicles, and the Afghanet system is supposedly being fitted to the Armata MPT. And that leads to the third and last reason for why I think we don't have the A-10 yet. The BRs may likely have to be expanded past the current 11.0 ceiling to accommodate not only the A-10 and its new mechanics, but also any vehicles that are going to be introduced along with the A-10 ARC. The Leopard 2A7, the Armata MBT, and the M1A2 SEP V3, not to mention all the various light and infantry combat vehicles that will undoubtedly be coming, mean that we need new BRs, perhaps all the way up to 12.0. Gaijin could also take this opportunity to introduce new and more powerful SAMs and radar-guided AAA systems, such as the 9K33 OSA, which is also known as the SA-8 Gecko by the NATO reporting name, the Chinese HQ-7, or even the 9K330 Tor, known as the SA-15 Gauntlet for the NATO reporting name, and that's just to name a few. So in conclusion, if you stuck around this long, thank you. But the A-10, much like the F-14 and the MiG-29, is a plane that is highly popular with players. A bad rollout of the A-10 would leave thousands salty and angry, and likely cost Gaijin any money they hope to make with an A-10 release. Just look at how Gaijin accepted the feedback for the JA-37C Viggen. That was done right. In the current meta, that plane needed to have chaff and flares on release, so it wouldn't be dead on arrival. I think Gaijin has learned some significant lessons over the years from past high-profile vehicle releases. I mean, to be blunt, hype vehicles can't suck. They just have to be good. Alright, so that's the video for today. I would love to hear your opinions, your comments on this topic I covered. So please chat it up, comment it up. Like I said, I'd love to hear what you think. Maybe Gaijin will listen to some of this. Maybe they'll see the video. I don't know. But thanks again. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I'll see you in a future video.